Some dragon action yesterday for $3. Check it out. See the horn that curls up and around the backside of the ear? So I'm pretty sure this is just a photograph. And it looks like there's a channel along the top that runs the water down off the tip of the mouth, so it looks like he just took a drink. $3 yesterday at a thrift store right across a couple blocks away that I'd never been to. So we'll talk more about that here in just a minute. Well, first I want to give you quick directions to the link in the description from the walk and talk that I did yesterday for about a 30-minute video. And some of you like these free flow, free form, no real structure to them. But at the end of the video that I made, I realized it was about fear. And so I decided, I'm going to title that one Loading the Jump Program. You know, like in The Matrix, where Neo has Morpheus load the jump program, where he has to jump and overcome his fear of falling. Because the video, the freeform walk and talk that I made yesterday is all about, at the end, it wasn't intentionally from the beginning. Like I said, it's not structured, it just kind of flows. But by the end, it's definitely about overcoming fear. And the jump program in the Matrix is about the fear of falling. That's the two primary fears that we all have, is fear of heights or fear of falling, and fear of loud noises. All other fears are indoctrinated or programmed or learned behaviors. So the jump program, it extracts or induces the fear that you all have. But in this initiation process, excuse me, we all, it seems like we're almost like there as I've heard of an episode of Star Trek or something where they're on the holodeck, or they're on some sort of ship that taps into your psyche and extracts your greatest fears and then presents you with that experience of that which you fear the most. And maybe dragons, maybe we've been indoctrinated with fear of dragons for a reason. But in my experience, that's what that 30-minute video is yesterday. So at the end, after I had recorded the 30-minute video, while it was uploading, I realized that's a good name for it. Load the jump program, because it's all about fear. And then I remembered a song that I had heard like earlier that day or the day before called Freefall by Rainbow Kitten Surprise. Only been uploaded 10 months ago. It's a new song to me, so I'm sure it's pretty much a new song to the rest of you too. And it goes very well with the video that I titled Loading the Jump Program. Don't worry, everyone fails the first time. That's what Morpheus says to Neo when he loads the jump program and he fails, because he gets scared. This is a video I'm not going to publish. I'm going to leave it unlisted, linked in the description, and those of you that want to watch it, you can. And I would suggest you watch the music video, Free Fall, and then watch the 30-minute video linked in the description. As far as the dragon thing, it's a good time for a recap. This is a video that it says was recorded 1 year ago, which means it was between 1 and 2 years ago. And the other videos I'll show you, it says 4 years ago, means it was between 4 and 5 years ago. It's titled Dragons Carved in Stone in 1892 at the seat of government in Salt Lake City, Utah. And I actually start the video down the road at the Alfa Romeo dealership. It's a car dealer. And Silvio de Berlusconi, Italian Prime Minister, had that same image carved in his front yard with the man coming out of the mouth of the dragon. He had it mowed into his front yard, which is a giant palace mansion that he had. And he had his landscape tailored to look just like that. And then there's the crown on top of the serpent, the man coming out of the snake. But then let's skip on through. This is the building we're going to check out. It's the city and county building in Salt Lake, and it was the heart of all government, of all commerce, of all, and Supposedly, the Mormons settled this valley, so it was the heart of religion, commerce, and government. And there's a lot of people that say that's older than 1892. That building was here before the Mormons got here in the 1800s, and they claimed it. They didn't build it. And there's good reason to think that just might be the case, but we're going to focus on the dragons that are all over it. And the Tartarian architecture. Tartarian architecture. So this one here says it was rededicated. Here you can see the square and the compass, center screen with the G in the middle. Rededicated by Grand Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons of Utah, Lynn J. Brady, MWGM, April 29th, 1989. Come around this side. Laid by the Masonic Fraternity, W.N. Schilling, Grand Master, July 25th, 1892. Just keep that in mind. And it's got some dragons on it. Alright? Here a dragon. Here a phoenix. Right. And here in a minute we'll go over about the dragons. Go check out some more dragons. Right there. See that guy? I guess I shouldn't have done that. I'll back up a little bit. But these are right above the doorway. So I gotta back out here a bit to even get those dragons in frame. So we got one here, one here, one here, one here, and this is the city and county building. So just like any other business, what's over the front door is the product and service they provide and the name of the company, who it is that's providing the product and service. Maybe we'll get a shot of these from the other side, from a little bit of a side view profile. So I'm going to walk right over here and take a shot looking up at those so you can get a little more of a side profile. But it's pretty clear those are dragons, right? So just right up front here, those two got wings. And where was the other one that we started out with? Hold on, I'm losing track of my dragons. There we go. So that one's clearly a dragon. You can see the dragon tail and everything. So we got one. This one could be a phoenix or a dragon. But we definitely got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to show you some over here on this other corners, hanging off these other edges. And then clear around the back side, I'm going to show you some more. Here a dragon. There a dragon. And there a dragon. And there a dragon. And I yell out, I'm like, it's a dragon! Clearly, serpent body. I don't want to stick my finger in there and throw the focus out. See the serpent body, see the giant fangs, see the claws, see the ears or wings. There's another one. And this is City Hall, 1892, remember. One there, one there. That's what you hang over the front of your building, is a sign that shows the product, the service, and who's in charge, who it is bringing you this product and service. Right? So there's two more. carved in stark relief that are sticking out from the building, not just a stamp stamped into the concrete. Clearly a serpent body, like a dragon, the claws, the fangs, and either giant ears or wings like bat wings. Right? 1892. He's more interested in, live action role playing than the mysteries of reality that exist all around him. So that's not necessarily a dragon, nor is this. So here in a second, I'll just show you all the other stuff there is to see. But by the time I got around to the back here, clearly, she said, that's there, this little tiny, basically my point of saying that it's a... Some of this stuff will make sense if you watch all the videos. Right now I'm just trying to show you the dragons. Recap. Condense it. Compress it. Wings. You can see the legs and the claws and the wings and the head. There be dragons. Here comes a hidden dragon. Hidden over here in the fine carving and the fine craftsmanship. And we'll get around to the story, the backstory here in a minute, where they say all of these dragons are simply because the early Mormon settlers reported seeing something like a lake monster like Loch Ness in Lake Bonneville, or what is now the Salt Lake. There's another hidden one. If that guy would get his finger out of the way. You can see the head and the body and the tail that wraps around. How many dragons can you carve in stone before people recognize it's not just sightings, legend and lore and urban myth, and people saying they saw something when they were drunk and that sunk back under the water before they get more than a second glimpse, and recognize there's more here to these dragons than some sort of urban myth and legend or sightings that people had. So what we just watched was from Dragons Carved in Stone in 1892, a video that it says I took a year ago, which means between 1 and 2 years. And now we're going to show you a little bit from these previous videos titled Loch Ness Mother Revelations Confirmed by Grim Ghost Tours Part 1 and 2. We're just going to watch a little piece from Part 2, and it says these were taken 4 years ago, which means between 4 and 5 years ago. So 4 years ago, when I'm making the videos that I titled Loch Ness Mother Revelations Confirmed Part 1 and 2, and they were both made at the same time. I just split the video up for whatever reason. Up pulls this van, says Grim Ghost Tours, and all these people pile out of it with their e-meters that are supposed to detect like electromagnetic frequency disturbances in the force. That's a ghost detector type stuff. And the Grim Ghost Tours tour guide starts explaining a little bit about the architecture here and what you see on the side.
This face up there, that is the face character of Chief Wakura, who was a local Native American chief in the area. In fact, he was one of the first Native American chiefs to sign peace treaties with the United States Army in the West Side United States.
Should I ask about the Freemasons or the dragon?
The face above the red belongs to Jim Bridger. Jim Bridger was a frontiersman and trapper. He actually fought out and nabbed a lot of the West Side United States. It's possible that people come to the West Side United States in trouble. Here we have an eagle.
Eagle.
Symbolic. United States. Up here. Guess what this one is?
A dragon.
Dragon? Looks like a dragon, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Between the first arch and the second arch. This is documented as being the Utah lake monster. Not all lake monsters look like that. Ours looks like a dragon.
Like Loch Ness.
Where even before Utah was a settlement,
Got lake monster.
there were groups of people seeing the lake monster out on the Great Salt Lake. And as those waters receded, this lake monster used a series of underground tunnels to travel to another large body of water that's associated with Lake Bonneville, the ancient lake, up in northern Utah.
Ride the snake to the lake, the ancient lake, baby. The snake he's long, 7 miles. Ride the snake. That's Jim Morrison in The End. Is she talking about the same ancient lake? And according to her explanation, that's documented to be there because locals reported having sightings of something like a lake monster down at the lake, and now there's these underground tunnels that go to other lakes like Lake Bonneville, Bear Lake up in Idaho, and other lakes as Lake Bonneville receded, and all that's left is Salt Lake. She showed them only one of the many dragons that adorn this building, and for someone to chalk it up to, oh, that's all because people reported having sightings and that there's nothing more to it than that, is very, very low IQ, unintelligent assessment of why such dragons are carved all over this building. It appears they were revered, and there was a lot more knowledge about them, and they were much more of a part of society than some people said they saw something down at the lake.
Where they have signs that say beware of lake monster. Don't leave the lake. Do you know which lake that is? Bear Lake. Bear Lake. For several years they couldn't find the bottom of Bear Lake. It's there, it exists, they found it. But along with the bottom they found underground caves and tunnels. And by these caves and tunnels they found large deposits of sodium. That's why they believe the ancient Lake Bonneville was all connected. There's a series of underground tunnels in all of Utah's bodies of water. But this is a ghost story you want to hear a ghost story.
The audio in the original is much better quality.
Forward.
Now they bust out their EMF detectors and do some ghost hunting. But for her to show up at the end of part 2 of me making this video showing the dragons all around this building, and her to show up and give an explanation about what these dragons are, that alone is the way that God works in mysterious ways. And the explanation that she gives does not hold water. To anyone who can see all of the other dragons all around the rest of the building, she showed up and pointed out the least significant, not the least significant, but the least obvious one. The least prominent one. There's only a couple other of the hidden dragons that I pointed out here that she could have pointed out that are less prominent and less glaringly obvious. All of those dragons surround the entire building, hanging off the doorways. She points this one out and says it's there because people reported seeing lake monsters. Well, certainly it was something more than what we think of when we talk about sightings of Loch Ness or UFOs or Sasquatch. Certainly there was more of a reverence, and they were part of a society that was part of the culture, far greater part of the culture than what we think of when we talk about sightings of lake monsters. Almost like they revered these dragons so much that maybe they have taken our Loch Ness mother and demonized her and turned her into a monster, and that the culture who actually built these buildings had a reverence for these dragons. Like much of the Eastern world still does. In this video I titled Japanese Dragon Riders Who Aren't Human Supremacists, but Lizard Lover Reptilian Sympathizers. These are just porcelain figurines that my mom brought back from Japan. And you can see those dragons are holding scrolls in their mouths, and it is a couple of very old man and woman riding on these dragons. Clearly, the culture over there doesn't say that. It's weird. Some cultures revere them. Other cultures like ours say, oh, they demonize them. They say, oh, the only dragons that exist is the great dragon of old, Satan, that great deceiver, the great evil, wicked serpent in the Bible. Yet we all think they don't exist. But in our culture, if you are to believe they exist, you must believe that they are evil. Here's a piece of a video that I made titled Real Dragons, Fake History, where they call it a mosasaur. And this is just one version of a mosasaur. Tall timber down to rock. And that's why there's a petrified forest in California, and petrified trees are not found evenly throughout. I was singing the song Don't Interrupt the Sorrow by Joni Mitchell. And the part where it says petrified wood processed tall timber down to rock. Look at all these mosasaurs or dragons that are all piled up in one spot. You think that happened over a long period of time? Some of these dragon teeth still have color in them. You think dragons are just myth and legend that never really existed? Or that our history has been withheld and altered and distorted in such a way that we think they don't exist, and if they do, they were evil, while other cultures around the world revere them, and even in our own society, we say that we built those buildings, but they appear to have been built by a culture that actually has knowledge and reverence toward these things we call dragons. Those don't look millions and trillions of years old. Petrification is a process that happens quickly according to the cosmology of J-Dreamers and the plasma apocalypse. Petrified wood process tall timber down to rock. Don't interrupt the sorrow. Darn right. In flames are prophet witches. Be polite. Truth goes up the chimney. Steeples lean. Winds of change, patriarchs, snug in your Bible Belt dreams. Trying to remember the rest of the lyrics. God goes up the chimney like childhood Santa Claus. The good slaves love the good book. A rebel loves a cause. That's Don't Interrupt the Sorrow by Joni Mitchell. Link will be in the description if you want to watch the rest of this video. But it's pretty impressive the amount of mosasaurs that are all piled up here in this one fossil. And they were big. So there's reason to believe that these lake monsters are not just tales of people that had too much to drink, and that dragons are real, and that we've been robbed of our true history. And these dragons were revered, not demonized, as they are in our culture, where either they're not real or they're evil, one or the other. There be dragons. Real dragons. And they still exist. In my not so humble opinion. Some of you might remember some of these videos that I was taking over there in Park City. The one titled, I Took a Pilgrimage to Save This Human Race. I'll stop the world and melt with you. That says a year ago, so it was between a year and two. Then you got the Shabu Dragon Energy by Scott Whitaker, and the one below it, Piercing the Veil Between Worlds Using Multispectral Analysis. That image came from the cathedral as it burned, the Notre Dame Cathedral. Our Lady, Notre Dame. Here's a couple more that I took by that same effigy, that dragon effigy that is on a podium over there on Main Street in Park City. Maybe I'm a different breed. Maybe I'm not listening. Watch the Jump, Loading the Jump program, and those lyrics might make more sense. Join our team. Prerequisite to join our team. Loch Mother Revelations linked in description. 10th level Jedi, real dragons, fake history. Remember they built concentration camps for us. Dragon Art, League of Legends is Legion. Flying Mother Nature's Silver Sea to a new home in the sun. Mermaid Tale. No, that's not it. That's not it. Snowguard, Masons, and Mormons on top of the world. Snowguard is dragons spelled backwards, as in Imagine Dragons, the band. Yeah, that's not one I'm looking for either. Then the morning comes, and when the sun comes up, we are always out of luck. There's no room for us here. It's cold-blooded love. It's cold-blooded love. It's cold-blooded love. Let's be lions, not sheep, dragons, not rats. Is that the one? This is kind of a little sidebar about the song Cold-Blooded Love by the band Goblins from Mars. I can feel your energy pulsating down my spine. Oh no, I am not the enemy. No need to run and hide, no. Oops, I was supposed to pause it. I might have blown this video as far as copyright goes. As the night draws near, we are animals of fear, feel so cold inside my head. And as the sun comes up, we are always out of luck, there's no room for us here. It's a cold-blooded love, it's a cold-blooded love, it's a cold-blooded love. Here we go. I'll just wrap it up and close it out with this video before I mess something up like I almost did. This is probably by the same artist that put all the ones at Shabu. I've done a video showing all of the dragon art at Shabu. I forget the guy's name. He was also at the Park City Art Festival with his wares. And remember the house that has a dragon effigy out front on a pillar here in Park City? This is something I took 2 days ago. It's just a bus stop. But remember, Kanye said, me and Trump, yeah, we both got dragon energy. Remember that? That's something I took 2 days ago that's not uploaded on my YouTube channel, and this is the only place that it will be, is here in this video. So to discover the truth about yourself without fear of what you might discover is very difficult. And maybe those fears have been indoctrinated into us and ingrained into us to prevent us from discovering the truth about ourselves. It's a big, big part of the process, is that fear. And something helped me. I didn't do it all myself. It's not just that I have such a strong will that I can summon the courage and the bravery to the point that I did. Something helped me. And it turned the fear all the way down to zero. When I'm going out there and I'm speaking to these policemen saying, oh yeah, I'm here for a wedding, I'm with the father of the bride, and it's going to be a star-spangled celebration. When I'm walking into warehouses, I'm walking up to this locksmith dude saying, I just joined God's army and I'm out looking for my marching orders. And I walk in somewhere else, tell them I'm looking for the truth about myself without fear of what it is I might discover. And all of the other people that I spoke to, in the ways that I did, zero fear. Fear would have prevented me from speaking with those people in those ways and doing the things that I did. Something helped me, and they call that spirit the Comforter. And I said that on the way out to Missouri. I couldn't do everything I'm doing by myself. Up until now in my life, I might be brave or courageous, but not like this. When the fear is turned all the way down to zero, it's a governor and it's a regulator and it prevents people from doing certain things. I've been voted least likely to be able to predict what I will or won't do or what I am or I'm not capable of by people who have watched me in the last few years because I've had life experiences that are unlike anything they've ever seen, anyone else have, or that they themselves have ever experienced. And when they see that the governor is turned off, this guy doesn't have the fear of what his peers might think and all these other fears. They get scared of me because I don't have the fear that they do, so they don't know what I'm capable of or not capable of, what I will or won't do. Only way they can predict what someone else may or may not do is based on average of what their calculation is of everyone else that they've seen in this world and the experiences everyone else they know of has had and their own life experiences, add those all up to an average, and then project that onto someone else and say, this is what that person will or won't do or is not capable of. But when you can see they're not like everyone else or anyone else that you've ever seen because they don't have that governor and that regulator that serves as a guidance that determines their behavior. People weird out. My point is, for me, the lack of fear was the only thing that enabled me to go through with the things that I did that have brought me to the place that I am. And I think right now, those experiences that I had are my most valuable asset. Other people have invested their time and effort and energy and resources into other things that are not going to serve them as we go through this transition. Everyone feels something big is coming. And by we all feel something big coming, we mean it's the end of the world as we know it and the beginning of something else that we've never experienced. So all of your wealth and all of the things that you've invested all of your time, effort, energy, and resources into throughout your life, all of your assets are about to be reduced down to zero value. going through this transition. In evolution, it is not survival of the fittest based on strength or intelligence. It's those that are most capable of adapting to change. And everyone knows whatever's going down right now, it's not going to be the same afterwards. Whatever this crescendo is, this capstone event that it's all leading up to, everything about our world is about to change. Everyone senses this. In 2019, April of 2019, we were 8 months before anyone had even heard of COVID, and I was saying, this is it. This is the end of this era of human existence. It's human graduation, Earth school graduation time, or if you want to call it a prison, the warden is handing out deferred sentences for good behavior. I'm going to get my cap and gown, and I'm going across that stage. I'm graduating Earth school. Everyone else is like, dude, it's not the end of the world. You're tripping. Now, everyone knows it's the end of the world, and a lot of people suspect it's this year. Whatever it's all building up to and leading towards, whatever the event is that the elite are building underground bunkers for and now are evacuating to their bunkers. And Marfugel says some of these people with these elite plans are getting the phone call saying, we're sending you a pod, load your valuables, your heirlooms, you're going to have to leave all your material wealth behind. But your heirlooms, like that which you're looking at on the screen right here that depicts the history and the truth, the value, the true jewels of knowledge of history and sentimental things that are the most valuable to you, we're sending you a pod, load it up. It's time. You purchased into this bunker plan, and it includes an evacuation. And anyway, we are at the point of the event that they won't specify what it is, and they don't say it out loud. They'll just refer to it as the event that's going to change our world in ways that will make it never be the same. And that's why I say these experiences that I've had are my valuable asset. My most valuable assets are these experiences that I've had that have conditioned me and prepared me to transition through this period from the old world into the new world, whatever that new world is going to be. And the only way I was able to have those experiences is by having no fear. And the only way I was able to have no fear is through the Spirit, the Comforter, that came to me when I had that tear-drenched, heartfelt prayer to Jesus Christ. In that come to Jesus moment, it was the tear-drenched, heartfelt part of it that opened up the channel of communication, not the magic word Jesus. Because there's plenty of people that have used that magic word and they don't have experiences anything like I have. And I believe that you can open up the channel between God and yourself as long as your heart is truly devoted and into it and you are sincere. It doesn't matter what word you use. And even if you use the magic word Jesus Christ, if your heart is not into it, that doesn't open up the channel. In my personal opinion, I don't know. I haven't had everyone else's experiences. I've had my experience. And I wish you well on your path, because no one's getting out of this. Everyone's going to have to go through this, and we're all getting a chance to show our true colors, is something I said a lot of times in my vision quest to independence in April of 2019. During the interim period between then and now has proven everyone is going to have to go through this, and we are all getting a chance to show our true colors. This is the end of this era of human existence and the beginning of a new. Everyone knows it now. In 2019, no one did. They were saying, dude, you're tripping. It's not the end of the world. Here we are. Everyone knows it's the end of the world as we've known it. And we're suspecting this crescendo, capstone, whatever it's all leading up to, the event, is going to happen this year. Meanwhile, a lot of people are just going through the motions of life, blinding themselves to any changes. They're still operating on their 5-year plan and their 10-year plan, contributing to their 401k and their retirement package, as if they're going to be able to see that come to fruition. Those 5-year and 10-year plans that they're working on, that they've been working on for all their life, those don't exist. Those were made in a world where plasma fire doesn't exist. In the world that we're actually in, they're investing in a world that doesn't exist anymore. They're existing in a fantasy that once existed and no longer does, but they refuse to acknowledge and accept that this is it. So they continue going about their business, going through the motions of life because it's all they've known, it's all they have. fucking UFOs could land on the White House lawn and there were people that get up and go, I'm not letting that affect me, I'm going to work, that's who I am, like it's a virtue of character. Keep on keeping on. What if you're going in the wrong direction? Isn't keep on keeping on something you shouldn't do? They are not engaged with reality. They are not responding as reality throws them the different circumstances of life. They continue doing the same thing, as if these circumstances shouldn't change what they're doing. They are not responding accordingly. They are not engaged with reality as it's happening. They're going through the motions of the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s, pretending it's called normalcy bias, the presumption that next year will be just like last year, and there is a certain baseline of normalcy that will continue. People that are engaged with reality as it's happening around us recognize, no, this decade is not going to resemble last decade, and the changes that have happened, 2019, the C-19 operation, that was the world as we knew it. All these people who say, oh, they ain't going to do nothing like that here. Bunch of freedom-loving, flag-waving, God-fearing, gun-toting, Bible-thumping Americans won't let that tyranny set in here. Bullshit. You all rolled up your sleeve and rolled over like some little bitches. You were given the opportunity to show your true colors, and we see you for what you are now. Quit playing and pretending. You're fronting. It's a facade. It's an act you're putting on. We're all getting a chance to show our true colors, and everyone's going to have to go through this, and you better be the author of your own authority. Those were words to live by that I said 9 months before anyone ever heard of the C-19. When they were given the opportunity to show their true colors were revealed. And they weren't the authors of their own authority. They did whatever the authorities told them to. They pretended that they were some sort of independence. Oh, Independence Day, 4th of July, we're all independent. Yeah, you're a slave. And in order to keep your good standing membership status as a good slave, you roll up your sleeve, you bend over, you take whatever you're told to take. There's a separation going on here, a stimulus through circumstances and in the environment around us that stimulates us and extracts a response. No one gets to sit on the sideline and choose not to participate. Life itself has an initiation process built right into it, and we are in the collective initiation. Most people have already shown their true colors and what they are cut out for and what they're not. The cloth that they're made from, the fiber of their being, the content of their character has been revealed, and they will be rightly divided and put in with others that are just like themselves. And I said that you're all going to get put into a world of people that are just like you. So that notion of be the change you wish to see in the world isn't some lofty, unattainable notion of ideals and utopian world that doesn't apply to us. It's an ultimatum telling you exactly what's going to happen to you, whether or not you like it. You're going to be put in a world full of people just like yourself that act and behave just like you do. So be the change that you wish to see in the world, because you're going to find a change happens in the world that puts you in a world exactly like the people that you have been, the person that you have been. You're going to be in a world full of people just like that. So if you just keep acting by default without any principles and without any intention, you are going to willy-nilly just do whatever the hell you want, and you can end up in a world full of people that are just like you, creating a world that is the result of that type of behavior. So instead, willfully and intentionally be the person you wish to see. Be the changes you wish to see in the world. Do unto others as you would like to have others do unto you. And people thought that was just some lofty, unattainable notion that applies to some utopian, idealistic world that we don't live in. No, that was an ultimatum telling you what's coming, because you're going to end up in a world full of people just like you. Let me catch my breath here for a second. And through this process, the culture of consciousness is purified and refined, and it leads to and creates and produces the greatest amount of happiness for the most amount of people by separating them according to the true content of their character. C-19 revealed our true colors, and everyone was wearing their report card right on their face or on their shoulder underneath that little band-aid that they put on their shoulder. You could not have come up with a better way to reveal someone's true colors and the content of their character, despite their facade that they put on about how freedom-loving and flag-waving and Independence Day they are, red, white, and blue. That showed what they're really made of. And you couldn't have come up with a better way to reveal the true content of a person's character than what we saw, and you had no clue. You believed the facade that everyone was putting on until the rubber hits the road, and it's not just talk, and it's no longer just a philosophical, intellectual exercise where you can say whatever lofty notions you pretend to. I've said many a times, don't tell me what you believe. I'll watch your actions and decide for myself what you believe. And you had no clue that the people around you are actually what they have now been revealed to be. Their true colors have been revealed. Everyone's going to have to go through this. And I wish you well on your journey. Fear is one of the biggest hurdles to get over. That's the gate. That's why narrow is the path. Because very few people are willing to relinquish that fear or capable of it, or ask for help from the supernatural realm and receive the Comforter, the Holy Spirit, that takes that fear dial and turns it down in order to allow you to experience and see the world in a different way that fear prevents you from being able to. Ask for some help. Be willing to walk slow through the fire. You know what's funny is that video that I put out the other day that said, just call me Lucifer, hope you guessed my name. And it has this Christian standard, run-of-the-mill Christian reciting Bible babble to a Shriner. And the Shriner said, well, what about all those hospitals, those children's hospitals, those good deeds that we've been involved in? And the run-of-the-mill Christian recites his Bible babble and says, Jesus is going to show up and there's going to be a lot of people that say, oh, we did all these works in your name and we were casting out demons and preaching in your name. And he's going to say, get away from me, I never knew you. That run-of-the-mill Christian hasn't even considered the idea that maybe it's him that's referring to. Instead, he's telling that Shriner that you are going to be the one that is cast away and told, I never knew you, get away from me. That run-of-the-mill Bible babble reciting Christian, who's reciting gobbledygook that he doesn't understand, but he sure is taking a hardline stance with his soft-minded approach to recite what he's been told, given that prescribed ideas. He hasn't even considered the possibility while he's sitting there telling that other guy, you're going to be the one that Jesus says, get away from me, I never knew you. He hasn't even considered the possibility. Maybe I'm the one who Jesus is going to look at and say, get away from me, I never knew you. You recited that Bible babble. That same shit that's telling people that this war machine is good, and anyone who stops it is the Antichrist. You did that in my name. You kept Bible babbling in my name to reinforce the mind control of that book that has these people believing they need to support the war machine. I told you there was a witch hunt coming where it's the war on terror, where they told us either you're with us or you're with the terrorists. You either stand behind the troops and support the troops, or you stand in front of them and get mowed down by them. There is no sidelines. I told you there was a witch hunt coming, and that witch hunt is here. There's a song by David Gray, Say Hello, Wave Goodbye. It's referencing exactly that lyric from the Bible that they call Scripture, where it says, standing at the dock, the pink flamingo crying in the rain. It was a so-so kind of love, and I'm gonna make sure it never happens again. You and I, it had to be the standing joke of the year. You were a runaround, a lost and found, and not for me, I feel. So take your hands off me. I don't belong to you, you see. So take a look at my face for the last time. I never knew you, you never knew me. Say hello, goodbye. Say hello and wave goodbye. And then there's some other lyrics, and it says, I put up with all the scenes, but this is one scene that's going to be played my way. Take your hands off me. Yeah, I don't belong to you, you see. And take a look at my face for the last time. I never knew you, you never knew me. Say hello, goodbye. Say hello and wave goodbye. And then it goes on with some other lyrics that makes it sound more like a love song between a man and a woman, and it recites the lyrics about say hello and wave goodbye. And then it says, we were born before the waves. Who are we to understand? We were born before the waves. Say goodbye. Through the rain, hail, sleet, and snow. Say goodbye. Get on the train, 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 and say goodbye. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. In the wind and the rain now, darling, say goodbye. And David Gray also has a couple songs, one titled Babylon and one titled Accumulates. And you'll know by listening to the lyrics of Accumulates that he's talking about the system of Babylon. And after listening to those two songs, you might be able to return to Say Hello, Wave Goodbye, and recognize it's not talking about a standard relationship between a man and a woman. I think I'll leave this video here.